Hey everyone, welcome to Project Car, and if you're here hoping that I can tell you how to spend your hard-earned money and the right tool set to buy, you're probably going to be disappointed. But hopefully I can help you decide which set will work best for you. You're probably wondering why the title of this video talks about Tecton Tools, and I've got a box of Craftsman tools here, but first I wanted to go through the tools I was using before and why I chose to upgrade to Tecton Tools. So right here I've got 154 piece mechanics tool set. It was a gift from my parents actually when I was about 14-15 years old, and it has worked great for me for the entire time I've had them. It's got 1/4 inch all the way through 1/2 inch, range of sizes, quite a few skip sizes, but a really great overall set. It's gotten me through at least 85 to 90% of everything that I've worked on since then. And the reason I'm upgrading is because in the last year I started working on my first project car, and I quickly found out that you will spend a fortune on buying one tool at a time, and so I knew it was time to upgrade this set and go for something a little bit nicer. Since these tools have worked so great for me, my initial thought was to go after one of the newer mechanics tool sets with maybe more pieces that I would be able to have a larger range of sizes into the 1/2 inch range, as well as more combination wrenches and all sorts of stuff. The problem I kept running into with that is when you got up to the 300 piece sets or more, a lot of those pieces ended up being hex keys or nut drivers. You'd get the bits, and it still skipped quite a few sizes and didn't have the range that I was looking for. As far as quality of these tools, the only tool I've ever broken was this 3/8 to 1/2 inch adapter, or 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter, and that's because I was trying to take off some over torqued lug nuts and used a 6 foot extension pipe and snapped it in half. So it wasn't really using it for what it was intended for, and it broke. Took it into the local Sears and they replaced it immediately. So I've always had great luck with these tools. I have no complaints at all. Only tool I broke, like I said, was this, and that was my own fault. But when looking for a new set, I kept running into the same problem with the mechanics tool sets, is that you got a high piece count, but it wasn't necessarily the tools that I needed, the socket sets that I needed, the full complete sets, which is what steered me towards Tecton Tools. So I finally made the decision back in January that I was going to bite the bullet and I was going to finally upgrade my sets of tools, mainly my socket sets. And when these boxes arrived, it was like Christmas morning. I couldn't believe at how nice the quality was on all these sets. I ended up going with the full master set of the 1/2 inch, 3/8, and 1/4 inch, along with their universal set of impact sockets, so that I wasn't using all of these new sockets for things that they weren't intended for. The 84 piece set here of the 1/2 inch, they're all 6 points. They go all the way from 3/8 inch to 1 5/16 inch on the SAE, and on metric they go from 10 millimeter to 32 millimeter. They have a 90 tooth ratchet along with a 2-foot breaker bar, which is actually the only tool so far that I have put a very, very slight bend in, and that's because I had put a 4-foot breaker bar or 4-foot pipe on this about halfway up, and was using all my weight to take off some bolts and put a slight bend in it, but in all reality I was pretty shocked I didn't bend it in half. So it was still a win for me. So over here to the 3/8 set, I knew this was going to be the set that I would probably use the most. And they do offer 2 different versions of this. They have a smaller 47 piece set that has most of the sizes that I would need, considering I was getting the 1/2 inch already and the 1/4 inch. So there wasn't as much overlap, but I prefer overlap just in case I were to lose a socket or break something. So I decided to go with their 74 piece set, that on the SAE side goes down to 1/4 inch all the way to 1 inch. Metric goes from 6 millimeter all the way to 24 millimeter, again skipping no sizes. For the 1/4 inch set, I have here the 55 piece set, all 6 point, The SAE goes from 5/32 to 9/16 metric, from 4 millimeters to 14 millimeters. It also includes the nut driver, which is kind of a great added bonus because I use that almost as much as the socket wrench itself. And another great 92 socket wrench, and the joint. The last set that I went with, which was kind of an afterthought, but I'm glad I did it at this point, was their universal impact socket set. And I'm not as big of a fan of this because it does not necessarily skip sizes, but there are multiple sockets that are both sizes. Like on this here, the 3/4, got 3/4 and 19 millimeter. So sometimes it makes it a little difficult to find. Some of these you have 3/8 inch sizing, but you don't also have it on the 1/2 inch. So in the future, I would love to upgrade this to master sets, but for now it does a great job, and at the price, I couldn't really beat it with anything else. So I know some people may be thinking, you know, these Techcon tools they're pretty cool, they're nice, they're decent quality, but they're nowhere near the tool truck tools, you know, like a Snap-on or a Mac Tools. And you may be right with that. When it comes to me, for buying these tools, I looked at where is my dollar going to go the farthest? Where am I going to get the most use out of each dollar? And this really just fit the bill for me. One more thing to note on these sets is these master sets include all of the shallow sockets of every single size and all the deep sockets of every size. So you aren't missing anything through the entire range of all of these sizes, all the way from as small as a 4 millimeter all the way up to 32 millimeter. I have every single size, and most of them I have at least 2, if not 3 sockets of the same size. So, you know, that 10 millimeter that always grows legs and walks away, I've got about 7 of them, or maybe 8 of them. Looking at all the different sets online can be extremely overwhelming. You know, you have the big box store tools, you have something like Tekton that is not really in many stores, then you have the tool truck tools, and trying to decide what the best is for you and the different kits that they sell. It's a very difficult decision, but what you have to do is figure out what it is that you're planning on using your tools for. If it's household projects, you don't need something like this. I did everything with like the 154 piece mechanics tool set from Craftsman, you know, for 10 years or so, until I got a car that I started working on, and now all of a sudden I needed larger sockets, and I found myself buying a lot of tools that I didn't have. And so that's why this set is something that works great for me. So I'm sure you're thinking, okay, it can't all be good. They're not all just, you know, the best tools ever. And there are a few cons that, to these tools, a few things that I've seen. Some of the quality control could be a little bit better, mainly on the internals of the sockets, which, whether that matters to you or not, it really doesn't matter that much to me. I guess I'd rather them all look the same because it just makes me feel better about the quality of the tools. But again, I've never broken anything, nothing is chipped, so it really hasn't been a big deal. Another thing that is pretty small, but because I'm particular, does bother me a little bit, is, let's see here. So these sets come in these great cases. The Tekton logo on the front. The socket set here, impacts, same thing. The only thing is, the 1/4 inch has the Tekton upside down, which again, not a big deal, it has nothing to do with the tools. It just is weird and kind of annoys me, but they shouldn't be in the boxes anyways, they should be getting used. So not really a big deal. Other than that, as of right now, I can't say a single negative thing about these tools. I've had great luck with them. They fit sockets extremely well. They're not loose and they're not too tight where if you have a little bit of grime you can't get the sockets on. The ratchets work great. I haven't had any skip teeth, nothing broken. And you know, I'm looking forward to using them for quite a few more years. One thing I want to say real quick is I'm not sponsored by Tecton Tools. I've never even had a conversation with any of their reps. I've never written an email to them. They don't pay me for anything. I just wanted to give an honest review of these tools because I have a lot of friends who work on a lot of cars and no one had ever heard of Tecton Tools, all my friends. And so this to me, we need to get the word out because these are great tools. They're great prices. Quality is amazing. And I think a lot of people are missing out. Well, hopefully this hasn't been as awkward for you as it has been for me. It's not something I do normally, but I hope that you were able to learn a little something about this. Maybe it makes your decisions a little bit easier to make. I know it took me, in all honesty, it took me years to finally decide which sets I was going to go with because I knew I needed to upgrade my tools, and every single time I went to go and buy something, I went to the store multiple times, had it in my hands, and decided it just doesn't quite meet what I want until I found these. So hopefully I've been able to help you a little bit, and thank you for watching Project Car, and hopefully I'll see you soon.